Okay, so let's answer some more viewer questions. You said in one of your first videos is that after you've become an adept that you'll have trouble relating to people. Has that hindered your experiences with normal or average people? It seems like you'd become very antisocial. Do you still talk about everyday things like small talk to people? Because I haven't even finished the curriculum and I already have trouble talking about the same things to different people and having small talks. At first, yes. Especially if you are adhering to the law of silence, which we're about ready to get into in my Laws of Magic series, because it can be quite difficult not talking about these things with other people. What goes in has to come out, and I've already explained that before, but for this stage of my development, no. Magic and the occult are so much a part of my daily life that I welcome the opportunity to talk about other things. You know, sometimes when you get off work, the last thing you want to do is talk about work. Some people may, but you get the idea. That's not to say that I'm not antisocial, however. I would say that I'm borderline antisocial. I pretty much keep to myself and have my own thing going on. But I don't avoid people in general for the reasons that you may think. It's not because I don't have anything to talk about with them. It's just that I avoid being around negative people, and most people are negative. I could start conversations with total strangers with ease, but very soon many of them would start to dump their problems onto me. And I have to be very careful with that because my subconscious mind can sometimes take their problems and manifest them into my problems, which ended up becoming a big problem for me. So much so that I had to do a lot of protection work and charging amulets, etc., to get a handle on my open subconscious mind. As I also said in one of the first videos, that you have to guard the gates of your mind. It's not all that easy. Some things will slip by, and the more you open your subconscious mind and have that cross communication with it, the more it will sometimes just take it upon itself to manifest things. At least it did in my case. I'm not sure if I would consider that making me antisocial as much as being very careful and choosy about who I hang around. And thank you for the question. Is your name Ken? No. I am grateful for the lessons that you share, and I would love to see a video about dream interpretations, about dreams, how to interpret them, how we can work with them. I know that this stuff is all on the internet and I just have to search, and I did, but there is so much contradictory info, and I would also like to hear your point of view. Thank you. The reason there's so much contradictory information upon dream interpretations is that dream interpretation is totally subjective. Dream interpretation is also intuitive in nature. What does the symbolism mean to you? And because it's intuitive, you kind of have to feel the right answer out. Does something make sense and feel right? Gut instinct. The specific dream symbolism may mean something to one person and mean something totally different to somebody else. And therefore, the best person to interpret your dreams is yourself. But you may have to do some soul searching and figure out what it is that your subconscious is trying to convey to you. Not all dreams, though, are messages. Sometimes the dreams that you have are things that have gone on throughout the day. You may have just watched a movie and therefore bits and pieces of the movie you just watched before going to sleep may appear in your dream as the subconscious mind churns over it, almost like defragging a hard drive. So not every dream needs to be interpreted as a message. However, I will say that sometimes the best time to do magic is right before you go to sleep, so that it's freshly placed into the subconscious for it to work on. And I appreciate the question. Thank you. How to build self-worth from within. Simply have a life purpose and work towards that. That's the best way. This is something that R.S.D. Tyler talks about continuously. Check out his video entitled How to Build an Ecosystem of Positive Emotions, or something similar to that. But it really boils down to finding and following your specific life's purpose. Thank you for your efforts. Can you direct me where to get more of this knowledge? I seek all that you talk of. Well, aside from this channel and other practicing magicians, and the books that I have listed, meditation. Start meditating regularly and you'll start coming into some knowledge. I want to open a line of communication with you, just to establish a line of study. And so do a lot of other people. Which is literally impossible for me to take on right now. I simply do not have that kind of time at my disposal. You know, I am open to the idea of maybe doing a tour of seminars or workshops sometime in the future, but for now the videos are going to have to do. But I am flattered and do appreciate you taking the time to reach out. My advice would be to do the work and the exercises that I do give, and you'll be far better off from where you started in a very short amount of time. Hello, Frater Xavier. I have a question. Maybe you can help. You said something about not talking to anyone about this stuff. Well, I want to help my cousin and let him know about all this incredible, empowering knowledge. I want to help him empower himself. But how can I do that if I'm not supposed to talk about it? He doesn't understand English, by the way, so the only way I would be able to help him is if I would explain all of this stuff, or if I told him to read magic books in his native language. But if he did that, we would end up talking about it anyway, because he would ask me questions. How can I help him? Have you been in this situation before? I bet you have. Yeah, well, let me just say from experience that's very rare for someone who doesn't know about these things to be open to them. It's far more likely that they'll just look at you as if you're insane. Wanting to help and assist people and empower them is a noble goal. Unfortunately, most people don't want to be helped. They really don't. And most are so egotistical that they'll resent and be offended by offering them unsolicited help. This is why I run my YouTube channel and don't advertise or push it on people. Those who are meant to hear it will come and find it. They will be seeking it out. Nearly everyone else is going to be a waste of time and energy. Not that they're not worth it, just that at the end they'll likely reject what you have to say and offer, and either thinking you're crazy or evil after going through the trouble. I mean, you can try it if you want. Perhaps your cousin is one of those rare individuals. However, I would not recommend it. All right, we have a two-part question here. Hello, Frater. I am interested in the Golden Dawn system, but one thing that concerns me about it is that from what I've read in Liam Thomas Christopher's book and through other sources is that working through the elemental grades can bring negative side effects, such as bad luck and other problems. I have a steady job, and generally speaking, my life is good, and I am happy. Is it going to wildly change my personality, moods, and behavior so much that it will cause difficulties or embarrassing situations with family, friends, and work colleagues? Basically what I'm asking is the Golden Dawn system going to make me go a bit crazy, cost me my job, and wreck my life? Will I still be me after the process? Well, it's going to depend on how strong your foundations are. It sounds like everything's going well for you, so I would take a gamble and say that no, it probably will not destroy what you have. Those with shoddy foundations, those foundations need to be removed so that they can be rebuilt stronger, better, and more stable. The work done in the elemental grades will disassemble you element by element and then reassemble you into a new, better you. So even those with those weak foundations whose lives are turned upside down are going to come out ahead and all the better for it. But before you get to that point, you still have to go through the neophyte grade, which is grounding, banishing, and energy exercises. So you'll have 10 months before you get to that point to decide whether you want to continue. You'll know by the end of the neophyte grade, before the elemental grades, whether or not the system is right for you. But I can say that every message that I get where somebody has actually started doing these exercises and started the neophyte grade have had their lives changed for the better, in their own words, and are thankful that they chose to do so. Also, would you recommend working with sigils before getting into ceremonial magic? Is it possible to use a sigil to just test how magic works? Like, for example, if I did a sigil to get a pair of red shoes, and if it happened, I could see for myself the potential of magic. Thank you so much for all your videos, and I wish you every success for 2015. And I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, yeah, you can do sigils without even getting into ceremonial magic if you wish. I would not base the entirety of magic on just one sigil, though. And if you really, really want a red pair of shoes, I would, make your sigil for something else and start with something that you don't really care about. But yeah, I mean, they're two different things. Sigil magic is a form of chaos magic, and although we use sigils in ceremonial magic, they are not one and the same. Ceremonial magic is far, far more involved than simply creating a sigil. But sure, go ahead, experiment with sigils. I have my sigil course that I've been working on coming out hopefully soon, and I will let everyone know when that will be, when it is ready to go. I appreciate the questions. Thank you. Hi mate, sorry I am still trying to catch up and just finished listening to the Fall of the Magician video. Prior to that, I tried to sign up to Laws of Magic to see it was not currently for sale. Is it closed to new subscribers? Also, I plan on purchasing the Words of Power on Tuesday after I get my next inflow of money. For your information, I live in Western Australia, so will be your Monday. I understand you're busy, so I understand if no reply, just send me the answer mentally. I'll get it. Yeah, Laws of Magic is currently closed to new subscribers. This is because Gumroad does not allow new subscribers to gain access to the previous lessons. They only get access to the lessons from the time that they signed up. To prevent that from happening, I had to close it to new subscribers. It will be available again once the current course is finished. Or I may start a second class that runs concurrently if there's enough interest in it. And Words of Power is available anytime you want to grab it. And I think that will do it for this mailbag. We still have many questions yet to be answered, and we'll get to that very, very soon. In the meantime, I thank everyone writing in. and I will see you next time. Take care.